Hi, I'm Craig Silverman with BuzzFeed News. I want to talk to you about why, if you're going to cover disinformation and misinformation, you also need to be covering digital marketing, in particular, the seedier aspects of digital marketing. And the reason is really simple. A lot of the tactics that we see being used by disinformation agents and other people manipulating platforms are originating or being perfected by digital marketers. Let me give you a few examples of this. So the first, earlier this year, we did an investigation with The Reporter, a news outlet in Taiwan, where we looked at the growth of professionalized PR firms and digital marketing firms that specialize in digital disinformation for hire services. One of the things that we did was we looked back in time for the number of takedowns or announcements from platforms like Facebook where they said that a digital marketing firm or PR firm was behind the operation. And as you can see here, there was a huge spike in 2019 where the platforms were paying more attention to it, and there were also a lot of them doing this. And so it's a huge problem. It's a big problem, and it's actually become really established part of the political process in places like the Philippines. So they had midterm elections last year, and researchers like Jonathan Corpusong looked at what the campaigns were doing, and they found, as you can see from this excerpt here of our story, is that there was often a separate arm related but at arm's length from the main campaign, paying a PR firm to do things like trolling, run fake accounts, spread disinformation about rivals. So this has become an established part of the infrastructure of campaigns there. Also, here's an example that two Facebook pages run by an Israeli firm called Archimedes Group. They ran one pro-candidate Facebook page and one anti-candidate Facebook page, playing both sides off against each other in this area. And this firm did work with a lot of candidates and other clients around the world. And finally, just a few weeks ago, Facebook announced a PR firm based in Washington, D.C. had used fake accounts, done deceptive things, targeting people in Bolivia, Venezuela, and Mexico. And they spent more than $3.5 million running ads for this stuff. So you can see here, there's a lot of money, there's professionalized players, and they're advanced, and they're always coming up with new tactics. So you've got to understand who the players are in your particular area. Second example here, I did a story in early 2019 revealing that there was this thing going on where average people, a lot of them in the US, were being paid money, like $10 or $15 a month, to rent their Facebook account. And so they'd hand over their logins, and then this marketing firm would take them and use that account to set up an ads account on Facebook and then run ads that way, which was a way to evade a lot of Facebook's ad bans and rules around what you have to do to run ads. And to give a big example of this, I did an investigation later last year, which is still ongoing, into a San Diego company that spent more than $50 million running ads through rented accounts. Ads like this with a picture of a celebrity and a fake claim about them. In this case, they spent about $35,000 running the ad, and they doubled their money selling things like CBD oil, erectile dysfunction pills, cryptocurrency scams. This is the kind of stuff that's getting through there. And if you clicked on the ad, you'd be taken to pages that were meant to look like they were real and legitimate news outlets. So they are masquerading as news outlets, and this is all around the world, whether it's in Europe, whether it's, in this example, I think was targeting people in Malaysia. We've seen people being targeted in Singapore and other places. Also, to tie a direct thread between the digital marketing and the disinformation operations. So my story ran in January, the first one about rented accounts. Then in March, the New York Times reported there was a new Facebook tactic in election tampering being tested in Ukraine by Russia. And what was that tactic? It was rented Facebook accounts. So they were running ads by renting people's Facebook accounts in Ukraine. Direct line there between marketing innovation and disinformation. Last example here, this is a Facebook page that was trying to sell masks back in March when Facebook had banned mask ads. And the ad itself had tons of false claims. It had a fake inventor, some guy in Japan they made up. It claimed that the mask could 100% protect you. All completely false. What also was false is if you looked at who was listed as the quote-unquote confirmed page owner, it showed a reputable company in the United States. And it also showed that the page was being managed by someone in Spain. Well, all of that information was false because they had figured out ways of evading Facebook's confirmation process for page managers. In fact, the company behind it was called Zest Ads. They're based in Malaysia. They have operations in Taiwan. They have a company registered in Hong Kong. And they have spent tens of millions of dollars on Facebook ads and have been doing this kind of thing for years. I found dozens of Facebook pages and Shopify stores linked to them where they would sell junky products that arrived and people were unhappy or that might never arrive. And so it was a bit of a scam that was being run. And in the end, Facebook banned them from the platform. And so the kind of manipulation that they were doing was really very similar to the kind of stuff that we see disinformation agents. So to conclude, you need to be looking at both of these areas to cover this completely. Digital marketing is an engine of disinformation and a source of new manipulation tactics. If you want to be on the cutting edge of what's going on in disinformation and misinformation, pay attention to the skeezy digital marketers in your area. Thanks.